The NBA trade deadline is in the books, which means the next phase of the NBA season is the buyout market. And on today's show, I'm going to show you 5 players that the New York Knicks should target in the buyout market if they do get there. You're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Major shout out to Leon Rose for the maneuvering that he did on trade deadline day as the New York Knicks traded Guerschon Yabusele for Dalen Terry. They then flipped Dalen Terry into Jose Alvarado, which not only got the Knicks a better player than Yabusele, which Alvarado is, and he's going to make an impact unlike Guerschon did, they also found themselves enough money under the second apron. They cleared enough money by essentially trading Yabu for Alvarado to be able to sign someone on the buyout market right now, a month earlier than they were supposed to. The thing with the buyout market is this. Since the Knicks are hard capped by that second apron and also over in the first apron, they cannot sign any player that has been bought out whose salary with the team before being bought out was more than $14.1 million. An example being like Chris Middleton. He makes more than $14.1 million. If he is bought out by the Dallas Mavericks, the New York Knicks cannot sign him. So 5 players the Knicks can legally sign that I would like to see them pursue. And let's just say this. The buyout market, it's fun. You're going to add a player for essentially nothing. But how many times has the buyout market player made a major impact on a basketball team? The answer, not all that often. A player I do think can make an impact for the Knicks is Haywood Highsmith, who was recently bought out by the Brooklyn Nets. Has not played in a game this year. Reports have come out he is 100% healthy after that knee injury he suffered last year, and he's ready to play. And for a guy that plays the wing, plays defense, over the last 2 years, shooting above 38% from 3, I think he's someone the New York Knicks should heavily pursue. You talk about what this team needs. They went and they got that backup point guard spot filled in Alvarado. With Deuce McBride out for what seems to be the next 6 to 8 weeks, another perimeter defender would make some sense, and another three-point shooter. Look, you can never have too many defenders, and you can never have too many three-point shooters, especially on the wing. Highsmith, not a high-volume three-point guy, but over the last 2 years, knocking down almost 39% of his threes. He can guard 1 through 4, can play that small ball 4. You've needed another wing behind OG and Bridges over the last 2 seasons. This is a guy that I think would be a big get for the New York Knicks. Matisse Thybulle is expected to be bought out as well. This list comes from John Hollinger of The Athletic. He put out a list of 50-plus players that he expects could or should be bought out. And Thybulle, he was on there. Only played in 4 games this year. Only played in 15 games last year. Been battling some injuries as well. And just hasn't been a great fit for him in Portland. But injuries a reason for that. But if he's healthy, he is one of the better on-ball defensive players in the NBA. In 2020, he was defense all-second team. In 2021, he was defense all-second team. Still a young player in this league, 28 years old. His three-point shot numbers are a little bit deceiving as he doesn't get that many up. This year shooting 1.5. It's only been 4 games. Last year in 15 games, shot 3.2. In 2023, where he shot 34%, he got up 3.6 per night. He can hit some. Teams in the playoffs will dare him to shoot, but he's a guy that can guard 1 through 4, would bring another point of attack defender for the Knicks and another wing at that. Another player I think the Knicks could be interested in is Kyle Anderson. He's been dealt a couple of times in the NBA. A veteran, no doubt about it. He is from Jersey, went to St. Anthony in Jersey City in New Jersey. He was born in New York, 32 years old. He would bring the Knicks another guy that could handle the rock for him a little bit, someone that could play make as well. He could score from the foul line down. He's got that push shot a la Isaiah Hartenstein in his bag, but he is known as a point forward, kind of a big man distributor. In his career, averaging 2.8 assists, as many as 4.9 in 2022, 2023, 4.2 in 23, 24. He could play the small ball 5. He'll play the 4 for you. Another guy that could allow Jalen Brunson to play off ball. Again, talking about the buyout market, it's going to be hard to find a player that's going to give you that many more wins. Coming up, we'll talk more players that could the New York Knicks sign in the NBA buyout market. First, though, I got to tell you about our sponsor, DraftKings. The NBA's biggest stars deliver the biggest moments with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. You can cash in when they take over. DraftKings has your back with early exit. If your player goes down anytime in the first half, you still get paid in cash. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code KnicksChat. New customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets instantly with code KnicksChat in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Blue Hill Casino in Kansas, wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 plus in most states. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time. The biggest need roster-wise for the New York Knicks is a backup center. Unfortunately, on the buyout market, and players that are expected to be bought out that play the backup center spot or could play the backup center spot aren't really there. You could look at a guy like Nurkic if you were not above the first apron, which you are. You can't sign Nurkic. So what about a guy like Marvin Bagley? Finds himself on the Dallas Mavericks after the trade deadline and having, honestly, a pretty decent season for what he's done in the NBA. In 38 games played this year, he's averaging 19 minutes per night, gives you 10 points per game, 5.7 boards. Like, it's the buyout market. Who knows if you're going to get that much of an impact player? John Hollinger writes, Bagley was pretty effective in Washington, but Dallas has a lot of front court bodies and shouldn't really be trying to win the rest of the way. The Knicks would be in a lot of trouble if an injury to Karl Anthony Towns or an injury to Mitchell Robinson were to happen, and you'd have to rely on Ariel Hukporti to playoff series. And I'm not saying you wouldn't be in trouble if Bagley was able to play, because you would as well. So I think probably the biggest need. Unfortunately, there aren't really that many bigs that are available. Like, of the 50 players that he mentioned, Kelly Olynyk, if he gets cut by San Antonio, I guess you could look at him. Kevin Love by Utah, Drew Eubanks, Xavier Tillman, Kevon Looney would actually honestly be pretty awesome. If the Pelicans cut Kevon Looney, he'd be up there for me. Dwight Powell from the Mavs, do they move on from him? I'd be interested in that. Nick Richards got traded to Chicago. They need big men. He could be an interesting one. Like, is Bismack Biyombo making you feel any better about that? DeAndre Jordan, what is this, 2012 again? Like, Mason Plumlee, Duop Reith. Like, the Knicks, it's very thin on the buyout market at the big man spot. I'd probably lean closer to Haywood Highsmith as my number one, but, man, a backup big could really help this team. I don't really want to see Hukporti or Jamison minutes in the playoffs. Quickly want to talk about Friday night's loss to the Pistons. I know you were down Karl Anthony Towns. I know you were down OG Anunoby. To be fair, they were down Jalen Duren. But this isn't the first time that you've gotten smoked by the Pistons. You lost by 30 last time. And I get it. Josh Hart and Landry Shamet didn't play in that one. But Duren didn't play, I don't believe, in that game either for the Detroit Pistons. It's going to be a dogfight versus them in the playoffs. They play a physical, tough, rough, defensive-minded basketball style. And the Knicks have looked slow. The Knicks have looked small. And the Knicks have looked weak against them in 2 games now. Hopefully it's just a regular season. But if anyone thought it was going to be sweet against Detroit, I think he's got a little bit of a reality check. We've talked about 4 players on today's show. We've mentioned plenty others. I mean, if you want to get a guard, you could look at someone like Russell Westbrook, who might get bought out. Cam Thomas is available if you want another scorer. I don't think that's the worst idea in the world. I don't know about Cam Thomas. Does Jeremy Sohan become available? It seems like things have gone sideways in San Antonio. He could play like a small ball 5, but I don't know. Name a player you want the Knicks to sign. And make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram, @MarshallGreen_.